This is a First Warn Tri-Cities Severe Weather Alert. Here is Chief Forecaster Skylar Doyle.
Welcome into First Warn Tri-Cities live severe weather coverage. I'm First Warn Tri-Cities Chief Forecaster Skylar Doyle. We have a severe thunderstorm warning that has now been issued for western parts of Greene County and East Tennessee for some 60-mile-an-hour winds and quarter-size hail with this storm near the Rutledge area here. So again, we are watching this storm closely. Let me put this along the current radar scan. We could see some large hail within this storm. Could also see the potential for a little bit of rotation. The rotation within this thunderstorm here is possible. There is just a little bit of rotation right here that we're watching to the northwest of German Creek or near German Creek. So if this continues to push southeast, it will push into western parts of Greene County. That's where that warning is right now. Again, for the potential of 60-mile-an-hour winds and quarter-size hail, the warning until 10:30 this morning. But again, we're watching some rotation within this thunderstorm as it moves southeast at 35 miles an hour. Let me see if I can turn on our rotation tracker here, and it will very likely take a second for this to load, and I will get it to the current scan. And yeah, some rotation here between Thornhill and German Creek. That's where we're watching some shear. That's some rotation in the upper levels, mid to upper levels of the atmosphere, and it's going to push down into Hamlin County. Here's the Morristown area. This is western Greene County. That's where that severe thunderstorm warning is in effect. And again, this storm does have some rotation with it, so there is the potential for some 60-mile-an-hour wind gust within this storm. There's that severe thunderstorm warning for 60-mile-an-hour winds and quarter-size hail moving southeast at 35 miles an hour. So let me switch back to the radar view here and skip back, make sure we're on the current, and then let me track this storm off here to the south and east. Here we're using a new system, so I'm just making sure I do this correctly. And we're doing it at 35 miles an hour. I need to, actually, that's not done right. There we go. And at 35 miles an hour, we have Morristown around 10:09, Witt 10:14, Mossheim 10:37, White Pine a little earlier at 10:17, Parrotsville and Cott County at 10:39, and Greenville around 10:49. That's where we're watching for the potential of severe thunderstorm conditions here. And again, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning with some strong gusty winds. The potential for some hail with that as well as it does continue to push southeast. Again, let me turn this off where we're tracking this. Turn off the storm track here. See here if I can get this off. Let me try to take this full again. We're using a new software, so a little bit of getting used to. There we go. Let me X that. Okay, and so, well, let me get to where it'll have the X, and then let me X out of it. Be good. So again, here is this severe thunderstorm here in parts of Granger County, pushing into Hamlin County, going to push into western parts of Greene County in our viewing area. Again, let me check the rotation tracker once again, and let me kind of push that along here to the current scan. Still noting that rotation right up through here. Our velocity also noting the rotation here. If I can switch on back over to velocity. And right there is that rotation on the velocity. That's where we could have some strong gusty winds. The potential for a little bit of rotation within this storm. So we're watching it closely just in case. But again, hail will also be possible. If I can try to get our hail tracker on here. And you'll see right here some hail near the Rutledge area. Potential for up to quarter-size hail within this storm. So again, we're watching these things very closely as they continue, these storms very closely as they continue off to the south and east here. And again, will impact western parts of Greene County here over the next little bit. The severe thunderstorm warning does go until the 10:30 half hour here. So let me take that off and let me kind of zoom out to more of a DMA view here. Let me see if I can hit this. And we're learning a new software here. So here's our DMA view. We do have a strong storm in parts of southeast Buchanan County. This is going to push into parts of Tazewell County. Then we have this severe thunderstorm warning right here. If I just query this to just the alerts on the screen, we have the severe thunderstorm warning here for western parts of Greene County, just far western Greene County. That does go until the 10:30 hour. So again, we'll watch this very closely. Back to our current radar view, and again, as we get a new sweep and a new scan coming around, right there is that possible severe storm near and just northwest of Morristown, pushing into the Morristown area. I'm going to push into parts of Greene County. As I zoom down into it, we still have the potential for a little bit of rotation within this. And what is very important to note as we wait for this velocity update is the rotation we're seeing is pretty low level in the atmosphere. It's broad, but there could be a wall cloud or something with this because the radar is right here where Alpha and Talbot is from the Weather Service in Morristown. So what we're seeing is a low-level slice at the storm. So when we're seeing those hail signatures and these wind signatures where they are a lower-level slice into this storm, that is why we are kind of a little more concerned because of how close we are to the radar. That could be helping us get a little bit of severe activity. Again, the rotation is broad, but there. Let me switch over to the shear tracker, and for some reason it don't like updating to the current scan, and it's saying it has weakened just a little bit, so that would be some good news. Again, let me just hit back to our wind speed and velocity here, and that is what we're looking at. There is some broad rotation, but the main threat with this is 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail, and this severe thunderstorm bearing down on the Morristown area will push into western Greene County, just to the west of Mohawk, south of Bulls Gap, near Skinner Cross Road, Creek Store, Blue Law. These areas here will have the potential, or in this severe thunderstorm warning now, as this storm is diving south and east at about 35 miles an hour. This is the only warning on the board right now. Still a couple other scattered showers, thunderstorms in the region. But this is our main concern right now, is this warning for far western Greene County that is in effect until 10:30 a.m. this morning, affecting a very small sliver of the First Warn Tri-Cities viewing area, but is affecting parts of our viewing area. That's why we're on the air giving you these updates. We'll at least be able to have live streams through 2:30 today for anything severe that develops. And again, here as our velocity is updating, we'll let this new scan come around. And yeah, there is still a little bit of rotation right here, just southwest of German Creek, northwest of Morristown. And it's a weak rotation, but we do, again, have the low-level slice of this, so that is something to be watching closely. Back to the radar we go, and it does line up here within this reflectivity. So watching this closely, the Weather Service reporting, they're hearing some thunder there in Morristown from their warning operations area of the office. So again, this is a severe thunderstorm warning for the Morristown area and then into far western parts of Greene County in our viewing area. That's where it includes. It's far western Greene County. And again, let's pull up the hail tracker within this. Could see some potential of some hail here pushing into the Morristown area. Pull up the velocity, some strong 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts possible at times within this storm. This storm has had a history of a little bit of weak rotation here, so we're watching it as that pushes down into Hamlin County, eventually western Greene County, and then to the radar imagery we go. This is what it looks like. So again, we're watching these severe thunderstorms very closely. We're going to get a new radar scan in right here as we continue to have this sweep around here. Again, the Weather Service in Morristown did issue this severe thunderstorm warning. It goes until 10:30 this morning. This storm is moving to the southeast at around 30 to 35 miles an hour. So it is a storm that we are watching closely. And there you can see this severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect here, the information box there on your screen. And again, if I switch to the velocity, we're still watching an area here of strong winds and potential for a little bit of weak rotation. Here comes the new radar scan around. And it looks like that rotation kind of right now continuing to weaken, but also maybe some radar interference because of how close we are to the radar. Once we get so close to the radar, we get a radar hole when we can't see the storm as good. It's good being close to the radar because we get a lower level slice of the storm. The beam is not having to shoot up as much, but we still are looking at this here as it's about to cross over the radar site. The Weather Service in Morristown will definitely get a good look at this outside of their window as this continues to push off to the south and east right into the Morristown area. So if you're in Morristown, you want to be seeking shelter indoors at this time. And then again here in western parts of Greene County, that's where we're watching that severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect here. And let me turn on our shear tracker just to see if that rotation is strengthened back up. Doesn't look like it right now. Still looking at weak, very weak rotation on this thunderstorm as it does push off to the south and east. Again, we're getting a new radar scan. They've got the radar updating here about every 2 minutes here during severe weather. And again, at the bottom of the screen, we only have one alert, but you see the alert scrolling there, that severe thunderstorm warning for Greene County there until 10:30. And if we go ahead and get this up here, still looking, the wind field rotation-wise kind of weak within this, which is good news. So again, watching this very closely here as it continues to push off to the south and east. Should be getting a new velocity scan any second now, so we're waiting on that. But again, a severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect for western Greene County from basically Center Cross Road, Mohawk, off to the west, and that does go until around 10:30 for this strong to severe thunderstorm that is impacting the First Warn Tri-Cities viewing area in western parts of Greene County right there. And that's where you can see, but the storm is also affecting areas near Morristown, White Pine, just to the northeast of Jefferson City, near Dandridge and Bainbury as well, as it continues its trek off to the south and east. And flip over to the reflectivity or to the velocity imagery here. We're going to watch this very closely. Also, we just got a new mesoscale precipitation discussion. Warning of the potential for flash flooding. And what I do want to know, and this is what's noted here in the mesoscale discussion. So there's no. We just got to update this warning, so let me make sure they haven't changed anything. Still 60-mile-an-hour winds, potential for quarter-size hail. First off, I do want to check something. No, that information. I'm going to take myself off the screen. So again, we remain with this severe thunderstorm warning until 10:30. So yes, we could have some flash flooding as we go through the afternoon. We also have a warm front kind of draped across the area right now, and this storm is getting very close to interacting with that front. So if that storm interacts with the front, it could intensify some rotation a little bit. So that's what we're going to sit here and watch, because the front's pretty close. The front's kind of draped over Greene County. So that is especially what we're watching with this thunderstorm here. Again, it's right over the radar site right now. As we continue to watch it move south and east here, just checking a couple things. What we're watching here. And again, that warm front, this storm will somewhat possibly with it, so it's something we'll watch. Let's pull up our shear tracker, rotation tracker on this, and see if it provides anything rotation wise. Right now anything is very weak, and we're watching the velocity as well. And let me push this along to the current radar scan, and it's scanning right now, so we'll watch this. But again, we do have that potential of some severe weather. And again, it's kind of hard to see right now because we're right over the radar site, but right now nothing kind of popping out rotation-wise at me. But as this moves away from the radar site, kind of closer to White Pine, Russellville, western Greene County area, we'll be able to start seeing the storm a little better back on the radar. So again, we're watching this severe thunderstorm warning, which remains in effect for Greene County and East Tennessee until 10:30 a.m. this morning. The far western part of Greene County right now under the gun for the potential of some severe weather as this storm pushes out of the Morristown area into the western part of the county. If this storm continues showing the potential for strong winds and hail, and depending also on what the Weather Service observes, because this storm is kind of pushing very closer over their office right now, that they'll have to make a decision here as this storm gets to the edge of this warning polygon as we get closer to 10:30 if they want to extend that warning into more of Cocke and Greene County, or if they're just going to let it expire. Again, that's something that we'll be watching here over the next 20 minutes or so. Again, we want to let you know we're still tracking a severe thunderstorm risk as well for later today. Let me see here if I take a graphic. I don't know if it's correct. I can sure try. That is actually not what I wanted to take. Let's see. Yes, it is. So we have the storms possible this morning with the isolated severe storm possible from now until around noon. Then I think we might get a 2-hour lull in a severe risk. I can't completely rule out a severe storm between noon and 2, but it's very, very, very low. More scattered storms between 2 and 8 p.m. Those will carry a low to maybe a medium severe weather risk. Damaging winds and a brief spin-up tornado possible. These storms will be scattered in nature and won't be everywhere, but they could be intense where they form. So how widespread they'll be, we don't really know. I think about 40 to 50% coverage of these, but again, where they form, they could be a little intense with some damaging winds. Potential for some quarter-size hail and an isolated tornado is not going to be out of the question as well. These storms will kind of be out by themselves, so they'll be able to get a little inflow, maybe rotate a little bit. And you just want to stay with First Warn Tri-Cities for updates throughout the evening hours. Let's head back to our current severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect here for the western part of Greene County until 10:30. We're getting another radar sweep here, but again, radar isn't much good right now, just because we're right over the radar site, and so we're kind of in a radar hole to see anything, to be able for radar to show us anything significant. Let me try to see if it'll do this. And again, we're in such a radar hole, we can't really see anything. So it kind of hurts when you're tracking it right over the radar site, but that's what we're doing. So once this storm kind of, within probably the next 10 minutes, we'll be able to get a better look at it. If you have any questions, by the way, you can drop them in the comments. We will keep an eye on the comment section the best we can. They're thinking the hail is weakening according to the Weather Service. They think most of the hail has done fell out of this storm, but still watching the potential for some gusty to damaging winds with it. But again, they're about to get, or they are right now, that was 7 minutes ago, they're about to get some pretty good first-hand knowledge as this storm is right over or near the Weather Service office. So we'll watch it closely. Again, the more sunshine we see today, the little bit higher the severe risk for the afternoon and evening will be. So blue skies and sun isn't our best friend today, as we typically say on a severe weather day, but it's especially true today. So we'll continue watching these here as they move on to the south and east. Still have some pretty strong winds. Radar detecting on just the low level slice right there, near the radar. I think the potential for 40 to 50 mile-an-hour wind gusts. So, and that's some pretty strong winds. There's also some lightning strikes right near the radar dome. So hopefully a lightning strike does not strike the dome, because that is the last thing we would need. I want to also note there are some stronger storms in southeast Buchanan into parts of Tazewell County. Right now, those don't have any alerts on them, but I want to keep my eye on those, just watching them here. Just was looking at those off the screen. We'll actually go up here, turn on the nearest radar for that, and you see kind of these storms here extending from basically the Virginia-Kentucky line down just north of Grundy, through Jewel Ridge, through Tassel, Springville, almost to Bluefield. We'll watch these just in case. maybe some gusty winds within here, 30 to 40 miles an hour here, parts of Buchanan County down into Tazewell County. Just to triple check and make sure we're not seeing anything. I didn't miss anything. Nope. And I do want to check on this. No, and again, we have the radome right there, so not going to see much anyway. This storm does have some upper level rotation. We're looking at it from a radar. It's kind of far away, and you're seeing the upper level. Doesn't mean anything near the surface. We have some wind damage in Granger County near the Rutledge area. Whoa, I hit a wrong button. That's not what we wanted. Let's try this. There we go. I will look at this from the Jackson, Kentucky radar. I'm going to have to change this real quick because I hit a wrong button. And then zoom down on it from Jackson just so we can kind of get a look at it. Again, there's some broad upper level rotation. This is looking way up. This is looking down on it from Jackson, Kentucky. So this is a very upper level look, but with it right over the radar in Morristown, it's kind of the next best option. And there is some very heavy rain rates within this up in the atmosphere, maybe some hail, but possibly melting before it gets to the surface, or kind of quarter size or smaller, and some gusty winds within it. Now I'm going to switch this back to our Morristown radar. But again, I mean, this storm is basically right over the radar site. That's why I was on the Jackson radar. It was kind of hard to see. But again, the Granger County, Tennessee, near Rutledge, they're reporting some wind damage with this storm right here. We're watching some rotation in there too when it pushed through that area, but very likely it was probably straight line winds. It's just several trees down in that area, 4 miles northeast of Rutledge, so between Rutledge and German Creek there. That's where they had some tree damage from this storm. And with a history of damage, it'll be interesting to see if the Weather Service does decide to extend this. And as this storm is finally maybe starting to move away, hopefully from the radar site soon, we'll be able to get a good look at it. If I just track this, still moving at 35 miles an hour. Take me off the screen. This probably stays south of the actual town of Greenville, but maybe toward the Warrensburg area around 1041 or so. You know, Newport, Parrottsville, DeBusk, maybe Camp Creek area, kind of the area that we're watching here, to where we might see some stormy, some severe weather concerns and maybe new warnings here in about 10-15 minutes or so as this storm dives off to the south and east. Again, I don't see much, but again, we're right over the radar, and I think that's why. As the storm kind of moves away from the radar site, we'll be able to see more. But with it being right over the radar, normally we like it when storms are pretty close to the radar, but not when they're right over the radar, because you can't really see anything. I do think this storm still has some 40 to 60 mile an hour wind gusts, though. And some of those 60 mile an hour wind gusts, anything 58 miles an hour or over would make the storm severe. So again, we're watching this storm closely as it dives south and east and heads toward western parts of Greene County. Right now we can't do much tracking with it because this warning, or this storm here, is over the radar site. So here's what we're going to do. Right now we're going to go off the air. Should this warning get extended into more of Greene County, we're going to come back and do some more extended coverage. But for now, we're going to go off the air and be back here if need be. If a new warning is issued, they extend this warning south and east, then we'll definitely be back with you, as long as it includes part of the viewing area, which it likely would include southern and western Greene County. So we'll continue to watch. Again, severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect here for parts of western Greene County just until 10:30 this morning. Should this warning get extended southeast closer to that time frame, we will definitely keep you advised. For now, Tri-Cities Weather Center, I'm First Warn Tri-Cities Chief Forecaster Skylar Doyle.